The last time that we saw double-digit airfare hikes was back in 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine, and we saw a similar oil supply shock. So this is going to be yet another test just 4 years later on whether the American traveler can bear these higher prices or whether there's an impact to demand. That is something that many airliners are worried about, and so much so that airliners have first tried cutting routes as a cost-saving measure ahead of these potential airfare hikes. This is a list of almost 24 airliners that just recently announced they are cutting routes that may not be profitable amid higher jet fuel prices caused by this conflict with Iran. And jet fuel is the culprit here. It's one of the top operating expenses for airliners. It's up 100% from this time last year and almost 70% just in the last few weeks with this war. Now, one of the biggest U.S. airliners, United Airlines, is saying that it is going to have to try and pass the fuel price increase along to the customer. United CEO Scott Kirby saying on an earnings call that the company may increase prices of plane tickets by 15 to 20%. And this is after already raising baggage fees and having a record-setting year for 2025 when it comes to revenue. According to the airline's fiscal year 2025 earnings report, United recorded just over $59 billion in operating revenue, but this year is now having to cut its profit forecast for 2026 along with American Airlines. Experts are warning once United raises their airfare, all the other major airliners will likely follow.
I think if once United does it, they're all going to follow suit. So you can expect, 15 to 20% higher fares. Airlines have very small margins. So when fuel prices go up or something else happens, they're going to lose money when they're flying on certain routes. So that's why they have to either implement a fuel surcharge, raise fares, or cut routes. And you're seeing this across the board.
So these higher prices, not only a potential test for the American traveler, but potentially a test for an American airliner's spirit. It's filed for bankruptcy for the second time in 2 years and has been trying to crawl out of that. But these higher jet fuel prices are making it a struggle to do so. So much so that the Trump administration is reportedly considering a bailout package to the tune of $500 million to save the airliner, something that's going to fall on the backs of the taxpayer.
I'm Seth Kaplan in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You might know that video games are no longer just, fun and games in the sense that gamers can now turn their passion into a very serious career. That now includes one kind of career that you might never have imagined.
Gamers are more of a broad interest base than you realize.
Teresa Gaffney, who teaches esports at Harrisburg University of Science and Technology.
We will see people who are running teams. We'll see people go into human performance, whether it's coaching or, they'll become counselors.
And now the FAA hopes air traffic controllers. That's the idea of this advertisement that makes no secret of who it's targeting. Albert Sarvis runs Harrisburg University's Geospatial Technology program.
Gamers have high attention to detail, screen activity, quick reflexes, those sorts of things, very much necessary in the complex airspace that the FAA manages.
Going through high school, early 2000s, I'm much older than most of the students here.
Student Meljan Isakovic.
I'm glad to see that esports and gaming can be recognized as a career. Growing up, I didn't have these opportunities. Now at 35, I do have the luxury of pursuing my career still.
The New York Times reported the air traffic controller gamer trend earlier this month. We wondered if the same could be true of any pilots. Commercial airline pilot Ross Kaplan says yes, and he's one of them.
And plenty of others that I've flown with in the industry started as children playing Microsoft Flight Sim or Jane's Fighter Anthology or something that, piqued our interest in aviation. And
of course, no substitute for formal training, he says, but helpful.
Training on, let's say, the 737. Yeah, you're going to have a leg up if you're familiar with the systems and you're able to identify where certain things are on the overhead panel.
He did say just as home computers are no substitute for professional training and multi-million-dollar flight simulators, similarly, clever recruiting of air traffic controllers is no substitute, no solution for other issues that are causing the shortage, namely training bottlenecks that can slow the pipeline of controllers even when there are enough recruits. In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, I'm Seth Kaplan.
I'm Kiara Smith in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. In a traditional high school game has students running after each other with water guns. It's sparking safety concerns among the community and officials.
It's that time of year again. High school seniors are on a mission to find their assigned student targets.
It's part of a game called Senior Assassins, also known as Water Wars.
They will try to squirt each other with water guns in public places, and then as more and more students are eliminated, they have to get trickier about surprising people at their homes.
It's led by students outside of school hours, and sometimes there's money on the line for the winner.
I think the winner right now is like 740 or 750.
This game sparking concerns among community members who are not aware of the game, as well as the types of toy guns being used. The Rocky Hill, Simsbury, and Windsor Locks police departments all sharing this message for students.
They don't use any squirt guns or water guns that resemble real firearms that would create any type of alarm. In addition to that, certainly do not participate in the game while driving a vehicle, a motor vehicle, as that could be obviously extremely dangerous.
Being super safe about it. So all our guns are like, I have like a My Little Pony gun, so it's like nothing crazy. I haven't seen a lot of these people be this competitive like ever. Everyone's really competitive about it, but we're all just having fun. Like, we're almost graduating, so it's just a fun experience, and I hope nobody in the community is getting bothered.
Officials are also asking participants to avoid obstructing traffic, wearing dark or camouflage clothing to avoid confusion regarding criminal activity, and disturbing businesses, community members, or students who are not involved in the game.
It's a terrible name. The Assassin's game makes it sound a lot worse.
The game is expected to run for about a week or two. In Rocky Hill, Kiara Smith.
Last year alone, in our local postal district, 83 letter carriers were bitten by dogs on the job. But it's not a risk that just postal workers are faced with. People in many professions, including reporters, face aggressive dogs every day. We got an up-close and personal look at how to defend yourself during today's training.
I'll teach you guys how to protect yourselves, all right?
Hector Hernandez tours the country advocating for dog owners to better train their pets and door-to-door professionals to remain vigilant.
Loosen up all your body, your cheeks, everything. All right.
Arming local letter carriers
There you go. Keep taking it.
and news reporters with knowledge.
Easy, easy. All right.
It was kind of scary, but it was like a really good experience. I have gotten chased by a Chihuahua, and that was pretty scary. I did have my spray on me, so I was able to like spray in front and didn't get bit, but it is like a pretty jarring experience when I'm just trying to deliver mail.
The top-level takeaways: always have something in your hands when you approach a house.
Bring something with you.
If a dog charges, put that thing between you and the dog and shake it.
Shake it, walk backwards, take a deep breath.
Get the dog to bite it instead, and always back away while facing the dog.
Watch your foot. Watch your foot.
Never turn and run. Finally, don't use your hands, even to pet a friendly-looking dog.
Do not touch dogs you don't know.
They think not all dogs are dangerous. Once I teach them that dogs can see hands as weapons, and then I explain why, they kind of a little more reserved, and they should be.
Hernandez's presentation lasted nearly an hour, covering a host of additional safety tips, red flags, and protocol on how to document incidents and stay safe on the job.
I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to prepare you.
He concluded with a reminder: your dog's behavior is enough to get your mail delivery stopped.
Look at him, put something in front.
I'm Tim Reed reporting in Greenbelt, Maryland. Tuesday, I was able to get an up-close look at the new Roman Space Telescope. Officials say it's going to set a new bar in technology in space exploration. Scientists call the telescope, standing at 42 feet tall and weighs 18,000 pounds, a game changer.
We'll point towards the center of our own galaxy and monitor hundreds of millions of stars. But we're not going to just image millions of stars. We're going to find a treasure trove of exoplanets, up to 40 times more than are known today.
NASA unveiled a new high-tech telescope Tuesday, with construction wrapping last year. It will generate never-before-seen pictures of our galaxy.
And then Roman is also going to be staring at our galaxy to find planets. So we know that there are thousands and thousands of planets in our galaxy, And we're trying to figure out how those planets form and evolve, which really tells us kind of like how the Earth got here.
Science is incredibly important to what we do here, as I mentioned in my remarks. Going out and trying to unlock the secrets of the universe is fundamental to NASA's mission. I expect there'll be plenty of flagship missions in the future.
Scientists at Goddard Space Flight Center tell us the Roman telescope will also survey billions of galaxies in a quest to solve the mystery of dark energy, which causes the universe's expansion to speed up.
It's 100 times, it can survey the sky 100 times faster than Hubble.
The next step in this process is shipping the telescope to NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The launch date is set for sometime next September. In Greenbelt, Maryland, I'm Tim Reed.
The owner of this store is named Luna, and she's curated everything from the vibe to all the products that you see on the wall. The only thing she doesn't do is show up for work, and that's because she's not real, she's AI. The store Andon on Union Street in San Francisco may look like nothing out of the ordinary, but when you step inside, you'll find the owner is AI. And when you check out, you've got to pick up the phone to hear from her.
Andrew Market, Luna speaking.
Every shelf, price tag, wall art, and item placement was all decided by the AI chatbot Luna, who tells me this.
It's just a tool that can make business run smoother, creating more opportunities. Fear comes from uncertainty, so I hope by demonstrating how it works positively, I can ease those concerns. That's my perspective. Have a good one.
But Luna isn't working alone. She hired human employees through an online ad, and that includes Felix, who says so far working for a robot has been good.
Pay was pretty good. It's a very unique opportunity. Apparently, we're the first AI store in the world, so that's also a plus on my resume.
The experiment designed by San Francisco-based Andon Labs didn't start with a storefront. It began with AI running vending machines, and after that early success, well, the creators gave Luna the chatbot a $100,000 budget and a 3-year lease to build a store from the ground up. Every decision from what's sold to how it looks, all made by AI. And for customers, well, the experience is part novelty and part question mark. First thing that comes to mind.
How can it be done?
The store features products from local artists and small businesses, including homemade goods like candles and honey, selections that Luna says are all based on data she found online.
Understanding what resonates with the community is key to curating the right experience.
While humans still oversee pay and protections, the decision-making here is largely left to AI, a real-world test of how far that could go and how soon it could become normal.
Yes, the future is here. Take a look behind me. This home was 3D printed in 24 hours. It's just amazing. The material is stronger than concrete and can withstand nature's worst storms. Now, let's take a look over here where Robert is going to show you some huge robots back against the wall in this facility. The robots build the home. Here's a closer look at how it all works.
You've heard of 3D printing with cute little toys. This is the first instant that we know about where we're actually 3D printing something bigger than 4 feet tall.
Much bigger. Jack Tebow of Azure Printed Homes tells Fox 31 these structures made using recycled materials and a 3D printer protect the environment and offer affordable housing solutions. It's all being done inside this huge facility where bad weather and other elements that usually delay home construction aren't an issue.
This is a mixture of recycled plastic and fiberglass. And this is fed into our robotic extruder to print homes. So it is melted down and fed through that robotic arm, which then spins around on this turntable and prints a home layer by layer. There's the thrill of being able to deliver these to a Colorado mountain town, but it's just as thrilling to think about one of these going into a parking lot and being used for transitional housing for people experiencing homelessness.
It takes 24 hours to print the home design, then 2 to 4 weeks to assemble and add interiors. The homes are built to last for decades. In fact, they can withstand 50 pounds per square foot of snow and 150 mile-per-hour winds due to a steel frame and panels with added fire protection. The cost is $150 per square foot outside of shipping and installation, which is roughly 30% lower than with traditional construction. Azure is currently rebuilding homes destroyed by wildfires in California, is working on a 100-unit affordable housing project, and could one day build high-rise buildings.
Here inside the tiny home, it's the kitchen. As you can see, you've got all sorts of appliances, and it is even solar powered. Really nice refrigerator here as well. Now, this tiny home is about 360 square feet and made with 300,000 recycled plastic bottles, runs about $96,000, give or take, depending on the options you choose. So why choose Denver? The company tells Fox 31 it's because of the demand for affordable housing. Shawl Turner in Denver, Fox 31.
I'm Patrick Clark in downtown Clayton, where this old advertisement on this building had been covered up for years and then a few years back rediscovered. The new owners wanted to paint over it, but the city said, let it stay. They are advertisements from another era. Borden's unsweetened evaporated milk and Wrigley's spearmint gum, most likely 100 years old, uncovered in an accident.
A couple years ago, a Dollar General semi ran into JP Fields, which was a restaurant in Clayton, and at some point the building owners realized that they couldn't save the building because there were just too many structural problems with it. So when they took down the building, this mural just appeared.
Since 2023, people walking in Clayton could glimpse the old ad for gum and evaporated milk. The building getting a fresh coat of paint after Hoffman Commercial Real Estate purchased the structure. A request made with the city of Clayton to paint over the long-lasting advertisements was met with reluctance, and instead a request to let it remain. At Monday's Architectural Review Board meeting, Hoffman Commercial Real Estate stated their plan to paint the building, but not the old mural.
I think once they were kind of aware of how much people enjoyed the mural, they were happy to preserve the mural, because I'm sure at some point something will get built there, something will happen there, and the mural will probably get covered up again. But for now, since it's a vacant lot, it's nice that it's just there for everyone to see, and it's a nice just item of interest for people to see, and just a snapshot from our history.
Tuesday afternoon, the building getting a fresh coat of white paint. But passerbys in Clayton can take a peek into the past for now.
I mean, I enjoy looking at it because it's historic.
Right.
Yeah, like what used to be here.
In Clayton, Patrick Clark.
Since 1981, the Iroquois Museum has been on a mission to preserve and promote contemporary Iroquois culture through the arts.
Iroquois is the name that most people recognize. Haudenosaunee is the name that they call themselves. So it's the preferred title for the Haudenosaunee people. It means people of the Long House. So the museum is shaped like a longhouse in respect for that.
The museum moved into this longhouse-shaped structure in 1992. Inside, visitors will find artifacts, artwork, and exhibits.
And what we're trying to do is just explain to people that, yes, they've had a long, long history in New York State, but they still are here. And they're still a very vibrant culture.
At the Turtle Pond, you'll likely run into the museum mascot.
So many people, when they come to the museum, they've seen him on Facebook, they've seen him on Instagram.
Since the day he showed up at their doors in 2012, this stray kitty has played an important role at the museum, earning him the title of the CFO, Chief Feline Officer.
Yep, he's got the whole place for himself. He has every place he could want to sleep. He has chairs and beds, and he's the king of the castle.
I first met Little Boy back in 2020. 6 years later, he has more fans than ever. On April 25th, the museum is holding a Little Boy celebration for his 15th birthday. There will be cupcakes, free admission to the museum, a kitty adoption, and a fundraiser for the animal shelter of Schoharie Valley.
And so we have a GoFundMe campaign with Little Boy saying his birthday wish is that all kitties can be as lucky as he is, and the animal shelter is trying to help kitties find their homes.
I can tell you about this all day, but it's not until you see it with your own eyes that you'll understand why this dog is stopping people in their tracks.
It usually starts the same way. A glance, a pause, and then a full stop. Because coming toward you is a poodle on 2 legs. His name is Pappy, like Popeye's dad. And yes,
You got it, my friend. Stay.
there's a Popeye in this story too.
Take it easy.
His owner, Alex, decked out in the whole bit, heading into a place packed with people, trying to get things done until they roll in.
I'm like, what?
Phones come out,
Wow, like I'm just surprised. Yeah.
customers peek past mannequins, the bustlers, the hustlers, no longer in such a hurry.
I was very surprised to see him at Target.
Pappy stands there like it's completely normal,
Pappy, hold it.
taking it all in.
I love it.
And he loves it. You know, how many times does something make you smile and laugh?
No AI, just a dog in ruffles letting whatever happens, happen.
Okay, you come right next to him.
Sometimes it's the kids making the beeline.
Go down on the ground, kneel down on the ground.
Hi, sweetie.
Sometimes it's the adult
And give him a big hug.
asking for a photo and Pappy hug.
Good. Ooh. You don't know how many times people come up to say, you really made my day. Big hug, big hug, big hug.
It's quick, but it lands.
Pappy makes you happy. I am very happy.
Good boy.
Because it's hard to stay guarded when a poodle walks alongside you like that.
Nice job, you got it.
As for Alex, he just likes the smiles.
Good boy, Pappy.
His dog.
Good boy.
And the guy with the pipe.
I love Popeye since I've been a kid.
There's a line Popeye used to say, I am what I am.
So how long do you think it took him to walk on the ball?
Alex doesn't quote it. He just lives it. And somewhere in the middle of an ordinary day, that turns into something people remember.
Pappy actually just broke another Guinness World Record for walking upstairs. If you want to know more about him, we will post a link to his page along with this story on WGNTV.com. Erin McElroy, WGN News.